Asylum. On the right.
Oh yeah, this is it, guys. Ooh. But there's a house next door, you see?
It's an office, it says.
Oh yeah, there's
a cemetery district office. Watch out for the glass.
Shit. There's houses down here.
Wait, weren't we here before?
No, dude. No, dude, we're gonna park and walk around. I just don't want to be near houses because that's bad. It's early, so people are still sleeping.
See if that guy has one.
Man, I'm just parking in this area and we can walk around the building. That's not a house. It's
So at a cemetery district.
yes. It's a cemetery
There's a
association.
house back there.
Is there a house nearby? Let me see. Oh, it's all right.
We're just walking around.
Folks, we've arrived at the old Nevada County Hospital. It's a tale of tragedy, spirits, ghost, history. As in the 1860s, this site was built back in the gold rush when the miners first came here in Nevada City. It's a very fascinating place, and what we're going to do is walk around, take readings and EVPs. I don't think I'm going in. I read an article 2 years ago that people have tripped alarms here, and the police use it as a SWAT training facility, so you'd know they're going to have it alarmed. They do patrols every day here at about 2 a.m. because people were going in starting fires. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's another thing, folks. If you hear any strange noises, the building's haunted by a ghost who likes to pound on the boards on the windows and the walls. So if you hear pounding, it could be spiritual. Tammy says it could be rats, but we'll have to see. We'll have to investigate. Leaves are changing colors. Being in Nevada City is amazing. This was an awesome boomtown in its day, and it's a semi-ghost town today, but almost all the buildings are restored, minus this old asylum we're walking around at. And so we're going to walk around, we're going to take some pictures. Like I say, I'll cover some history. Very beautiful building. Very creepy, definitely worth a look. Here, let's go down and look over here. We got to check it all out, so. But the first hospital in Nevada County was established in 1855 according to the American Medical Directory Volume 2 and by the American Medical Association. So this is pretty old. 1855 is when the town was first booming. Look, see, I got cameras up there. Oh, those are motion lights. Motion lights, right? Everguard. That's their security, Everguard. Oh yeah, this is a courtyard. They used to let the patients out in the courtyard to kind of get some fresh air, like you see here. Yes, we definitely need to walk around and look. This is the courtyard. I've seen this on a drone video. Oh, look at that. Jesus. Wow. The Hugh Building, which is the oldest and remaining standing, is 34,000 square feet. And the first hospital stood here around 1855, and eventually it was renovated and buildings were added throughout the last 150 years. In 1865, supervisors decided to move the hospital about 3/4 of a mile from the town, which is this facility you see here. And the new hospital had about 12 acres, which we're standing on. I know, dude, we can go in and get a few pics. I won't extensively go through the place.
Yeah, no. Can't explore it.
Huh?
Go out there and look on the ground.
Oh, this is gross. What?
Eat that? That's pretty nasty. What is that?
Here, of all places?
Because the legs were
Here's the thing. I read on the website there's a lot of cults that come up here. I also read on the website there's a lot of dead animals found on the property. See, most... And this just proves... But this just proves it right here. Look. This just proves it right here. After the original building was built, they built a main building. It was like 70 by 30 feet. And it had a kitchen and a dining room, 40 by 30 feet, and the wing of 20 by 30 feet. And the hospital eventually would go through renovations in 1880 because the patients increase here. And so from 1884 to from 1881 to 1883, there was 235 patients that were admitted. So guess what, guys? I just read. What? Where are you?
Look, automatic script is indicated by handle position midway between on it.
So from 1881 to 1834, there was 43 deaths here.
That came off that window up there. Something came out the window.
Huh? What do you mean something came out?
You can tell.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
pushed it out and knocked the board?
Yeah. Can I climb up there?
Meth can save the world. I mean, seriously.
There's 43 people who died. And yes, folks, most of them are buried right here. It's a type of... That's what Tammy's dad has. Oh, chestnuts?
Yeah.
This is a chestnut tree. One of the largest I've ever seen. Wow.
Dad, look how big this chestnut is.
The 43 people that perished here, folks, were buried on the property. From what I've read, there are multiple graves. The tombstones, as of a year or two ago, someone came up and removed them. I don't know why. There's a lot of kids that hang here. This is on tourist sites. You can visit it if you walk around the outside, but a lot of people come here and they break in and they start fires, and that's where the problems come into play. So about 43 people died here. This is also the site of a tragic incident, and I'll explain later. Actually, explain now. In 2001, a mentally ill man who wasn't on his medication, I guess he went to the Hugh facility, shot 3 people. They wouldn't let him see the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist was busy. The man was sick. And he took a gun, killed a person in the restaurant, shot a couple nurses. One of the nurses died. And it led to Laura's Law. Tammy knows what I'm talking about. A 19-year-old Laura Wilcox is one of the individuals shot and killed in this building. Her family actually fought for Laura's Law, basically, which would change how the system handled mental health patients. And in 2003, Laura's Law took effect, and it granted counties and judges the ability to court order outpatient treatment for the mentally ill who met specific criteria. So Laura's Law began here. So in the 1900s, as the county grew, the hospital grew. And it kept the patients isolated outside Nevada City for many decades, many years. But I had read that in the 1920s, all the way till 1975, they continued to add on to the facilities here. And you can kind of see, it's a beautiful structure. Beautiful. There were 4 wards here. 4 for men and a private ward for the pay patients. And 3 wards for women. And I've read that it was called the Hugh Building later on. This is originally not called the Hugh Building. It was called the Nevada County Asylum, basically. And a fountain. Oh, yeah, yeah. It was a nice place back in its day. Well, nice in the sense that, you were buried right on the property. There was 43 people that died here in a 3-year time span. People came here and they passed away. They were ill. And some people were so sick, like that man that came in and couldn't get the help of a psychiatrist. They denied him, and he came in and he shot a person in the restaurant. He shot a nurse. 2 nurses or 2 mental health staff. One of them died. 2 people were murdered right here where we're standing. And this place is said to be haunted. I don't know if it's haunted by the women that the mental patient had murdered here, but I do know they say if you walk around the building and you pay attention, you'll hear odd sounds from inside, voices, pounding, banging. Like, for example, he's going up to the door. People have heard banging from the inside on that door. It could be a person living inside. I don't know, but I could tell you this. It's strange. The whole building is sealed, yet people continue to hear noises coming from within. And the basement in the boiler room is said to also be haunted by a ghost of a man. I don't know if that's true, but I know that this is a really nice place to walk around. And the Hugh building is it's giant. It's over 34,000 square feet. But they had 4 wards for men, 3 wards for women, a ward for paid patients, the ones that would basically check themselves in and willingly. They had everything was heated by steam. They had good light, ventilation. It wasn't a dreary asylum. 4 toilets in the early 1900s, 4 zinc bathtubs. And they would make the patients bathe at least once a week as a requirement. But this was actually built around 1860 at the time or the height of the gold rush in Nevada City, which had one of the most successful hydraulic mining operations till hydraulic mining was no longer allowed because the silt would reach the San Francisco Bay and a foot a year it would build up and just became unorthodox and bad for the environment. Kill, rot, and decay. This is colorful, all the leaves. Somebody had to paint that board. If there's anybody here, give me a sign you are here. Please talk into the recorder. If you're here, please make any sort of sign, noise, bang on the walls, something. But give me a sign that you are here. But the additions that were built here, see, they built the property near Nevada City, and then they moved it 3/4 of a mile. And in 1860, they built this building that you see, and then of course they added wings and wards and additional facilities like a dining room, a kitchen, an area where the mental health patients could lounge around in the courtyard. And it was used till 1975 as a hospital. In the 1980s, it was so overcrowded that they used this as an old jail. So this has been a mental hospital, a jail. It's been the site of many things. And they were going to remodel the central building and they were going to house low-risk inmates here. But on January 2001, 2 women were killed. Another woman was shot when Scott Thorpe opened fire on mental health workers. And it was in the lobby, so I'm going to try to at least work my way real quick to the lobby and get a few pics for the website. But that's about it. Because I want to be able to show people, where this took place. This is history, but it led to Laura's Law, which is used nationwide. Another man died and another man was shot when Thorpe opened fire at the Lions restaurant a short time later. So I was wrong earlier. I said someone got shot at the restaurant. This man came here and he killed 2 people at the site, and he turned around, went to the restaurant up the road, and actually shot a couple more people. He was sick. They denied him mental health treatment, so he's like, I'll show you, and he grabbed a gun and started shooting people. It happens in today's times, and it happened just in 2001, 15 years before. It's hard to believe that this building 15 years ago looked like it was white, pristine, it had windows. Now all the windows are broke, everything is rusted, stairs are falling apart, there's boards on everything, there's leaves everywhere and spray paint, and animal carcasses, because people come up here and do satanic rituals from what I've read. People have found feces up here, dead hanging animals, drugs are done, sex, meth, all that kind of stuff. So it's not a best place to probably come at night. However, I've done a million abandoned buildings, and so they're all to me the same. You know, you're going to get kids that hang out, and you're going to get people that come up here and party. And the locals are sick of it. They want it torn down. And the Hugh Building is a historic landmark in Nevada City's early history and development. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could have someone buried. This is the main walkway in the facility right here. This is the main building. And you could have someone buried right here. There was Potter's Fields. And all they did was put a wood cross. But kids come up here, they steal the crosses, they vandalize. Everything that remains has been stripped of this place. Nothing's remained. I don't even think the SWAT team's using it, because the SWAT team put down it's too unsafe in there with the asbestos. So I think that the building has become in limbo, and they're deciding whether to tear. And in 2007, it would cost $100,000 to demolish this place. So anyone who bought the land was like, I'm not paying that. And another $2.25 million for renting these buildings out, which were covered in mold and asbestos. We're going to go up in the courtyard. This might be where the burials are. I know they're near the building. So it's never been renovated. To actually remove the asbestos and the mold and lead paint here would cost $13 million. In 2011, the county sold the property to the Bill Litchfield Construction Company for $90,000 in Grass Valley. He was going to develop this building and turn it into a senior residential condo community and 175 conventional residential condominiums, but he said those plans were indefinite due to the slow market, and of course it would cost $13 million to repair this building. $13 million, because you have to remove the lead paint, the asbestos, and this is why I got the hotel, because this place beats anything in the area. There's no hospitals like this standing in California. This is one of the last remaining state hospitals or county hospitals remaining that held mental health patients. But it was a prison too. This was not just a hospital. It was a hospital, it was a mental health facility, and it was a prison. They had inmates here at one time, or criminally insane as well. So people were buried, funerals were held right here in the courtyard. And people were buried on the property. There's been murders here. It's a place of tragedy, but it's also a place of great history, considering that this is one of the oldest hospitals in the state of California. 1860 is when this place was bred. And, I mean, original foundation, everything. Over the years, they've just renovated it. Huh?
There's some new electrical wires there.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I know.
Look at the blue wire. Follow it. Goes inside.
Yeah. Let me go snip it. Serious. That's AT&T. It's for, you know, it's pretty here though. Look at this. Wow. But when this was built in the 1860s, it was to cure the indigenous sick of Nevada City during the gold rush. You had a lot of people, pioneers, coming here. They lost all their wealth in the mines, and they had mental breakdowns and were often submitted to this very hospital that you see here. And even though it's a creepy looking place. So we'll continue on with the journey. You have to understand, like many towns in the area, Nevada City's population, like many Mayan towns, Nevada City's population and needs change with the industry. So hospital went many revisions. It also served as a morgue. Yes, there is a morgue, a poorhouse, a general hospital, housing for low-risk inmates. This was a welfare office for the state of California and a behavioral health clinic with outpatient offices. And that's when the man wasn't provided with services and ended up shooting a couple people here, which led to its closing, obviously, because he was on a killing spree. Scott Harlan Thorpe killed 2 employees, drove to the nearby restaurant, killed the manager, wounded the cook, and the hospital closed in 2006 fully. So the hospital is over 150 years old. It's over 150 years old, and the murders led to Laura's Law. And like I say, once again, it was used as a general hospital, poorhouse, the city morgue, housing for low-risk prisoners and inmates, a welfare office, and a behavioral health clinic. So, like I say, there was many uses that this building had served or seen in its day. The different types of people that would come here for its services. And now today, there's just nothing remaining but a dilapidated building. What's this over here, man? Let's go look over here. There might be a chapel and a gym and a cafeteria here as well. It was quite common back in the day to have those facilities at such a large complex. And I don't know where the grave sites are, but the cemetery district is located at the top of the hill. I don't know why they haven't put new crosses. I'm sure they could locate the burials based on records. What's back here? A courtyard? These little courtyards were for the mentally insane to sit out here and get fresh air, because it would be inhumane to not let them come outside, ever. Oh, there's the police. The popo came by. They're pretty strict about this place. They don't want anybody in here. But this is the courtyard. I suppose you could have hopped the fence back in the day, but, you know, most patients did check themselves in. Could have been a smoking area for the employees as well. Well, I'm thinking so, because if you look, there's only a wooden gate, and they would have locked this, but the patients would have been able to climb out. Well, they patrol it on a regular basis because they don't want people back here. Let's go check out that building across to your right. That may have been the maintenance.
Are you sure?
Maintenance, yeah. They had to have maintenance for the grounds. They had to have maintenance for the grounds. Yeah. That's why they blocked it off.
Make sure you only stay on the exterior.
Well, they patrol it, honey. Every couple hours they come here and look around. Make sure nobody's like partying or doing drugs, you know.
I wonder if they have a problem.
Supposedly the boiler room here is very creepy. The murders didn't take place there.
Yeah.
Selling chicken coops? I need a chicken coop. But supposedly, ladies and gentlemen, the boiler room, despite how creepy it was, the murders took place in the lobby, not the boiler room. But the receptionist and the nurse was killed, so let me readjust my history again. Not just 2 employees that worked here were killed, but it was a nurse, I believe, and the receptionist at the front desk. When she told them, sorry, the psychiatrist is not in, that kind of thing does happen, and people sometimes lose their minds if they're sick. And this man was sick that came here. But this is a place of murder, tragedy. I'm sure abuse took place. People were buried behind the property. How did 43 people die in a couple years in the 1800s? Were they murdered? Were they experimented on? Whatever happened here was not good. But yeah, in the 1860s, the supervisor decided to move the hospital. And this is where it ended up. By 1862, this hospital was full worked and full-fledged. But it took a lot. It took a lot. And the Hugh Building continues to collect a lot of ghost stories. A lot of ghost stories are collected at this location. And some of them ghost stories are pretty amazing. I've read some of the encounters that have taken place here. But today, this building today looks like something out of The Walking Dead. This is a building you'd probably hide in from people. What is this building over here?
Oh no, that's the one.
No, this over here. What is this wooden thing?
That's there.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I see. It's a ramp down. It's a really cool place. Minus the fact that they're getting strict about people coming up here. They don't care if people come and take pics. But they're like, nope, don't go inside, don't go inside. But you know, we got masks and stuff like that. So a little lead paint's not going to kill anybody. This is where that mutilate. Wow. Taking a little back route here. Look, folks, there's deer. That explains why there was a deer mutilation. There's probably some bobcats, or there might be a mountain lion back here feasting. But as you can see, the leaves are changing, so now the deer are coming out. It's very beautiful, and I've seen a few flowers around the asylum. I just got back, folks, from coming inside. I was just inside the asylum roaming around. And I walked around, and I didn't get to see the morgue. I didn't get to see the lobby. I didn't get to see the morgue, and I didn't get to see the lobby, and it's because I couldn't find it. The place is 34,000 square feet, and I spent 15 minutes on the first floor in the basement, and I still didn't see the other half of this building. It's huge. There's a bunch of spray paint, red on the stairs, to make it look like blood. It's real creepy. There's like all this weird Satanistic graffiti around. It, you know, like ritual stuff. It's a creepy place. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. When I was on the second story above the wheelchair ramp, and I went into this giant rec room where the mental patients play chess and stuff, I started hearing like, like that, like a man breathing real heavy. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I was sitting there, right, standing still, looking at my equipment and camera. All of a sudden I hear like 10 feet away, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I didn't get out of there. I didn't run, but let's just say I left that area because I was like, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? It startled me because I started hearing, like a man breathing real heavy, and nobody was there. So this place has a lot of good ghost stories. I've read a bunch online. People have seen apparitions. People have seen things looking out the window. They've heard ghosts inside, where they don't even go in the building. They just hear them out from the inside of the building through the windows and doors. But we're going to leave, folks. Check out our site, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. This place is like a fortress. The cops do patrol it. Do not go inside. Do not try this at home, and do not do anything that I do. They may tear down this building, and we may be the only ones with pictures and some footage. There's a few other ghost groups that have minor pictures and footage like me, because the place is huge. And really, you know, I mean, not many people are daring enough to explore this haunted place, but we did today. And it's near Halloween in October, so they're making sure nobody goes in or out. But they did let us on the property, at least the sheriffs, as long as we weren't like causing any trouble. Which does my girlfriend, my kid, and me look like trouble causers? No, you know, we're just here to take some pictures and preserve the history before the Hugh building gets torn down and nothing remains of this beautiful complex. This is Lord Rick. Check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. So we're going to be leaving this majestic place. It's pretty gorgeous here. I'm going to miss it. Like I said, I was on this. I wasn't on this side of the building. As a matter of fact, I made it to about here, and then I turned back, and I did this half of the building. This half I didn't do. This is the main building. This is where your morgue probably is. It could be in the basement too, and I just missed it. But you got your morgue and your lobby probably on this side. I didn't even make it to this building. Only these buildings. This gives you an idea of how large it is. I spent a long time in there and I still didn't see it all. I roamed the second floor, most of the first floor. I probably covered about 40% of this place and I still didn't see it all. But this is where the tragedy took place. The man basically walked up here, walked up to the receptionist, shot her. There was a nurse, obviously, probably handing the receptionist paperwork or coming out there to also tell the patient, no, man, the doctor can't see you today. And bam, open fired. So this building's supposed to be haunted, but from my experience, this building's haunted. And that's where I heard heavy breathing and it would sound like a man gasping for breath. So we're going to head out of here. I just want to say peace. This is Lord Rick of the Paranormal and Ghost Society. Morning. Serious, I found a dungeon in the basement. It's a concrete room with a concrete bench. It's creepy as hell and no windows in the basement. And there were some other weird things I found, but I only did this half of the building. This half is the administration area, like where the nurses could live, like the quarters, the doctor offices. I didn't get to that. But I did get to an examination room. I seen some patient rooms, some recreation rooms, all that. And I did see like the kitchen that they put in. That was I think in the 1880s they built the kitchen. This was all an addition later. Came the kitchen and the dining room. I went to the kitchen and the dining room. So I made it to those two sites that were added on after 1860, I think around 1880s when they did renovations. So with that in mind, folks, this is our first investigation of Nevada City. This is our first investigation in Nevada City, and it was a good one. The Nevada County Old Hospital, which also served as a welfare office, a prison, a house for the poor, doctor's offices, and a psych ward. It's very haunted. I had my own ghost experience here. Very few people can say that because most people walk on the outside and hear some things inside. Now I know something's inside because I heard it with my ears and it was like right on top of me. It sounded like an old man gasping for breath. He's like, I was like, what the fuck? And it was coming closer. I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to get moving. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of spooky. Creepy place in the fall. It's almost Halloween 2016. This is Lord Rick. We're going to move on to the Nevada City Pioneer Cemetery, and then the Haunted Firehouse, and maybe National Hotel, and then do a nice evening hike. And then tomorrow's a pumpkin patch. You got another town hike. And we're going to go out to Malkoff Diggins, which is Bigfoot country, and a ghost town. There's an old mining park and ghost town out that way, and a tunnel. So we got a lot planned. This is our first investigation in Nevada City. I was at the Pioneer Cemetery last night. Did not investigate it. Just checked it out. It's a creepy little historic place, and that's our next destination. Peace out. Check us out. www.paranormalghostsociety.org for more adventures such as these and urban explorations and everything strange from A to Z. How did it fall on the stairs, man? How was it on the stairs? I walked up the stairs before we left to do one last film and advertise our site. But how did it fall? How did it fall out of my pocket? I did slip on the stairs because there's leaves, wet leaves, and I slipped. And I went like this. My left foot went down. My phone was in this pocket. It could have just fell out onto the leaves. But my phone, man, was sitting right here. I can't blame the ghost. I mean, I did walk up the stairs. My phone, folks, was sitting right here on the step in the middle. I had to come back to the asylum. I couldn't find my phone. I came back to go check out the asylum where I walked around up here before I left and had my phone, and the phone was sitting on the stairwell. Well, yeah, anything in these buildings here are used. You don't want to mess with them, but the building I was in, very unused, and the basement is in pretty bad shape. There's dirt floors in some areas. There's low ceilings where you gotta bend down and go through tunnels. I went through the tunnels in the basement. But it reveals my phone, and the ghost didn't take it, so I guess that's a good thing. There's an old stone wall. That's original, the stone wall. So we're gonna go left. We're gonna head to the Sugarloaf Trail. If we have time, we'll do the Hirschman Trail too. Both trails are known for its pretty fall colors, but the Sugarloaf's above the town, and Hirschman's behind the town. But they're both near each other. Oh shit! God, this guy's speeding, dude. You're supposed to go 30 through here. He's going like 55, man.
Well, you can't see
can't even
people
stop
going up
anything.
No,
over the hill.
it's all right. I had to fucking speed it. This is not a race car, you know what I mean? It doesn't pick up that fast.
It looks like you actually